Hey guys, Ray here at Spady Speed Shop. We're going to show you a quick and easy way to run the wires through our handlebars using the stainless steel wire that we provide you with. This is our new Performance Series handlebar that we becoming very popular for us right now. It's a little narrower, less pullback than our standard bar that you guys have seen in the past. So this wiring that we're doing today, we're going to use stock lines, stock everything, which is nice because the big question is hey man, do your handlebars work with stock cables? Well, now we have designed a bar that bolts right up to stock using everything. It's very comfortable, nice design, a little more set up for that performance, aggressive style riding. So basically when you get the bar, you're going to see that we have stainless steel wire on the inside, both sides. What we're going to do, I'm kind of just doing the whole full video here. I'm not, going to take any shortcuts. I kind of want to just show you guys. You guys can fast forward all you want. Just to kind of give you the basic idea of how we like to wire our handlebars. Everyone is different, but this has been working for us, so we're going to continue to do it this way. When you pull your wires out of your stock handlebars, we always like to remove the factory plugs. It just makes wiring a hell of a lot easier. A lot of guys they don't have the proper tools, and they'll say, I'll just go ahead and pull them through. You can. We use, a 7/8 hole up here in the top bar, so there is a lot of room to run these wires down. And it being an 1¼ inch bar all the way through as well, it's definitely makes it easier. If you do want to remove your plugs, we recommend some of these, snap-on tools. These are tools you can get at any snap-on dealer in your area. Just a couple basic terminal tools, just to make things easier. So we go ahead, we remove all the plugs, all the ends. What I do with the factory wires, I just remove the tape. No need to have any interference. It just makes things easier. So I'll go ahead and remove that tape. With the razor blade. There you go. And then on your throttle, now this is 16 and up. 2015 Roadglide, they have that bulky green plug in there. Two options. Some guys think they can get lucky and run them. What happens when you tug a little bit too much, it separates that green plug and it sucks. You have to do the whole job over. So a lot of the times we'll actually replace the whole throttle sensor with the Harley-Davidson Screaming Eagle sensor, or we'll just go ahead and use the 16 and up version. It's wires all the way through, there's no green plug. What I'll go ahead and do first is I remove the tape from this as well, because there's no need to have any interference. On the factory harness, you'll see that there is electrical tape. You can leave that, it's fine. Do not remove that blue tape. That separates where the wires sit into the connector, top and bottom. So that's very important to keep, or you go crazy trying to figure out the wire combination here. So basically what I'm gonna do is simple. I'm gonna take my right side throttle side controls. There is a little zip tie here. You can leave that on there, that's not a big deal. And then what I'm gonna do is basically put these wires together. I'm still going with the whole overlap theory here. That works very well for us when you just kind of piggyback your wires all the way through. So what I'm gonna do is have these terminals, with the exception of these guys, sitting above. I'm gonna come over to the throttle side. I'm gonna grab the stainless wire, and then basically I am just gonna wrap them around here, right below the terminal ends, like so. Give it a little snug there, and just give it a little twist, just so that I'm still right underneath the terminals. Go a little bit more if you really want to, it's okay. Take a pair of pliers, and I'll pull that nice and tight. and I'll come in and I'll just go ahead, get a nice little, twist them a little bit more so I make sure that I get a nice bite. I don't want to lose these guys coming through, but I don't want to go too much so I suffocate the wires either. Then what I'm going to do is, the wire I'm going to be pulling through, I'm going to twist it enough so that it is going into the bar, and then the extra wire that I have, I'm just going to go ahead, tuck that down here. You can trim this up a little bit, no need to have all that. Go ahead and just make this a nice tight fit. So as you can see, I have a really good connection here. Those aren't coming out. So what I'm going to do now, I'm going to take some electrical tape. I'm going to work my way from the back forward where the electrical tape is on the factory throttle sensor, or wherever you want, just as long as you cover all the wires basically. I'm going to go ahead, just this area right here. I'm going to wrap this. I'll make sure that stainless wire isn't pinching anything. Alright, now I'm going to wrap it nice and tight so I don't lose any of that connection there. And you notice the two wires still sticking out at the top. I'm going to do with these guys, let's just fold them over, like so. I'll come up, make like a nice little point with the tape, and then I'm going to come back down. And that's it. So now we have both hand control and throttle sensor hanging out the right side of the handlebar. What we're going to do is we're going to show you another easier way. We could just go right ahead and say, hell with it, let's just pull them all through, you know, start running through. But if you really want to take that extra step and, you know, try to make it a little easier, we can go ahead and pull the throttle stainless wire out of our cheater hole, which I don't know if you can see that in the camera. We have hidden cheater holes. Let me get in there, I got a light here. Up underneath the handlebars. That is going to help you pull wires through, and of course if you get into a jam, that's there to show you what's going on. So take a little hook, I'm going to come up. Now, I'm going to pull it right through the cheater hole. Okay. Going back to the, baby powder. This really stuff works awesome. I use the baby powder because what I like to do put them on both sets of wires here. Now, if you notice, I am not going to tape these together. The reason why is because when I get to this point, I want to pull my hand controls through as I continue to pull my throttle side through. So, very importantly, you want to make sure that your lines are overlapped. In this case, I'm going to go ahead and put my hand controls in the bottom, keep my throttle on top. So basically, the idea is to push and pull at the same time. I'm going to wrap my hand around that, get a nice little push and pull here. I'm coming up on that bend now, so I'm keeping the line still on top and bottom. As I come up to the bend, I'm going to push and give a little tug. And there they go, right past the first bend. eventually you're gonna see the line starting to come out through the cheater hole, which we're not gonna pull them through, but just kind of get an idea where we're at. And there we are. So we're gonna stop it right here just to kind of show you and go over what we just did. We have our throttle sensor, hand controls. Everything came out the cheater hole. What we're gonna do is go ahead with our little hook. We are going to pull out our hand controls just to get them out of the way now because we are at the end. We're gonna back this up a little bit. We're gonna take that stainless wire, we're gonna come right back out the center again. Okay. Now, I like to, at this point, no need to have 2 feet of stainless wire floating around, scratching your bars, so I'm just gonna cut a piece off. Enough that I can wrap it around my hand and pull it through. And get this damn powder off my hands. All right, now what we're gonna do is we are going to feed both of these lines through as we're carefully pulling. It's gonna get to a point where we might need a little help by using some pliers, but I'll show you that when we get to it. But let's try to keep running them because they're moving pretty good. The idea is to force the wires into this area here. That way when you pull, you're pulling what's bunched up. So, all right, so we like to use these needle nose pliers here. They are a nice little tool to have when you wanna feed the rest of the wires through. You really wanna bunch the wires up in this area and then pull the rest out as you keep feeding them this way. So these guys work great because what we're gonna do is come in and I'm gonna grab just the throttle side and I'm gonna push it in towards the center of the handlebar. Then I can come in and push that guy a little bit. And then if you notice here, I can pull what I just pushed through, just to give it a little bump start. Now I'm pushing up here. It's like I'm feeding and pulling at the same time. So, came to a stop, so I'm gonna go ahead and grab my pliers again. I'm gonna grab that throttle right there, hanging down. I'm gonna push that in, just like so. Just keep pushing it till I can't push it no more. And then, there we go. Sometimes if it feels like it's, all right, I'm at a dead stop, what the hell's going on here? Well, we got a lot of bends in these bars. Sometimes they go smooth, sometimes we get into a jam. And it's probably a good idea that I showed this video now that I'm kind of having a little bit of a tough time because I'm sure a lot of times anybody's installing these bars or wires, they're having the same issues that I'm having right now, so it's actually a good test. I made this little tool. This is basically a screwdriver. I shaved the head off. I made a nice little rounded hook. It's not sharp, it doesn't have any burrs on it. The idea is to have a nice big fat hook so that if you want to get up in there, you can pull your wires down. It's very helpful to have. I'm gonna go up inside. I'm gonna find my wires. I'm just gonna give them a little snug here as I pull it through. And there they are. Just need a little help. See if I can push these through now. Lead these up to the top. See if I can pull a little bit. With the help of two people, sometimes this makes it a lot quicker as well, but when you're doing this by yourself, okay, there we go. Just caught up in the bottom a little bit there. Got those out. That's a good place to be right now. Sometimes you can do the seesaw too. You can rock it back and forth. That helps when you rock it. It's a nice little trick too. This thing's kicking my ass. Good. This is a good video. All right, what do we got here? Yeah, that's what it was. Stupid zip tie. Maybe I should take the zip tie off, huh? Okay. Put my hands on the wires now. This is good. I can cut that string. Just push this guy in a little bit. There we go. Then I'll separate the tape. There we go. Okay, I'm going to pull this right up to the end. Just enough so I can separate my tape, which I'm there. Separate this tape now. So because we did not tape these lines together, they're still separate, which is just what we want. I'm gonna unwind, get this out of the way so I don't scratch my bars. Unwind this here. All the wires look good, nothing's broken. Okay, so now we have our throttle side, handlebar wires. We're gonna leave the handlebar wires right where they are. We're just gonna go ahead and we're gonna pull the throttle through all the way till it sits inside the bar and seated the way it should be. Okay, so what we're gonna do is start feeding throttle side down. Just gonna grab our throttle wires and seesaw. Back and forth. There we go. There it goes. So throttle's in. Hand controls are here, coming out the bottom. We can adjust these because they're not taped together, so we can slide these back and forth to put our hand controls on. Throttle line is looking damn good. Now, if we want, we can move on to the clutch side of the bike here and start running these wires through. This is going to be a breeze. It's up to you if you really want. You can just run them through. It doesn't matter if you run them through the since we only have one set of wires, we'll run them through it this way. Take our line. Okay, so we have a nice little connection here. A little twist. Just want the line flat. Okay, grab some tape. Right up to that zip tie. No baby powder needed because we don't have two lines that are rubbing up against each other, so no friction there. We're just gonna pull this thing right through. Don't have to use the cheetah hole either. This side is very easy. The idea is to just push and pull. That's it. I think you have a good idea of what's going on from this point on. Everything is pulled through. Put all your plugs on, put your controls on, set them all up. I'm going to show you guys a couple of little things real quick too. So yeah, the wiring, I find this easier running both through one side on the throttle side as opposed to running two separate lines, trying to piggyback them. That is a great system or method of wiring for maybe 13 and earlier Roadglides, but for the late model 15 and up Roadglides with the CAN bus wiring, we find this method a lot easier than the other video that we have out there. You know, with the exception of, I left the zip ties on here just to keep the red and the black wires, the CAN bus wires from coming undone. You take those off, it's one less, you know, interference you're gonna have. So that was the only jam I had. Luckily, you know, with the right tools, you can get out of those problems running the wires. A lot of people call us up and they ask us about the handlebars when we sell them. The thing about one of the top sellers that we have, when you purchase our handlebar, are these half clamps. And a lot of new Harley owners, they're really confused about, well, what are the clamps? Well, this is what Harley gives you. They give you these overweighted, ridiculous sized clamps with pins on them. They're very heavy. I don't have how much they weigh, but if I were to take a guess, I mean, they're definitely at least probably right around, you know, maybe a pound, a little over a pound. They're heavy. We run the Screaming Eagles, the Street Glide style half clamps. As you can see, the difference. Weight, they're very light, made out of aluminum. Also a nice clean look when you're running up against the edge of the bar. So for 20, I think we sell these for 22 bucks. It's worth it. Anytime you purchase one of our handlebars, grab a set of these. It's gonna make installation a lot easier, a lot cleaner. You don't have to cut the pins off. These things are just, in my eyes, they're ridiculous. So hope this video was helpful. Again, if you guys have any questions, concerns, or how to run the wires, you can always give us a call. You can get us at SpadaforaChoppers.com. You can get us on Instagram, Facebook. 781-324-1912 is the phone number. My name is Ray. Matt works here too, along with Brian. Give us a holler and we'd be happy to help you out. Thanks for watching the video.